If I asked you what the most dangerous thing in your body is right now, what would you say? Maybe sugar? Maybe cholesterol? But what if I told you that for most people after 50, it's something invisible, something you can't feel directly, yet it quietly shapes your energy, your sleep, even your mood? I'm talking about cortisol, your stress hormone. Now, don't get me wrong, cortisol isn't evil. In fact, it's one of the reasons you wake up in the morning. It helps you think fast when you need to, and gives you that burst of alertness when a car suddenly honks behind you. But the problem comes when it stays high, long after the danger is gone. You see, your body was designed for short-term stress. Imagine a gazelle running from a lion, heart racing, lungs pumping, muscles tense. That's cortisol doing its job. But what happens when the lion never goes away? When the stress is your bills, your phone, your thoughts at night? The body keeps pumping out cortisol, and that's when the real trouble begins. Over time, high cortisol can make you feel constantly tired but wired, like your brain wants to rest but your body forgot how. It can cause stubborn belly fat, especially around the waist. You know, that soft layer that seems to appear no matter how little you eat? That's cortisol talking. It tells your body to store fat just in case. It also messes with your sleep. You might fall asleep fine, then wake up at 3 in the morning for no reason. Alert, restless, maybe even anxious. That's cortisol again, spiking when it shouldn't. And it doesn't stop there. It weakens your immune system, makes you crave sugar, and even shrinks parts of your brain responsible for memory. Sounds scary, right? But here's the good news. You can actually turn it off. Not with a pill, not with an expensive gadget, but with your own breath. Think about that for a second. Every breath you take is a message to your body, a small conversation between your lungs and your brain. And depending on how you breathe, that message can say, calm down, you're safe, or stay on guard, danger's coming. Most of us, especially as we get older, forget how to send the first message. We rush, we shallow breathe, we live in survival mode. So today, I want to show you something remarkably simple, a breathing movement that helps lower cortisol in just a few minutes. But before we get to that, let's understand why it works, because once you know the reason, you'll never underestimate your own breath again. Part 2. How breathing controls the stress response. Let us start with a simple truth. Your breath is like a remote control for your nervous system. The fascinating part is, it's one of the few systems in your body you can consciously control. You can't slow your heartbeat directly or lower your blood pressure by willpower alone. But through your breath, you actually can. When you inhale, your body activates what ES called the sympathetic nervous system. Think of it as your accelerator pedal. It wakes you up, increases heart rate, raises blood pressure, prepares you for action. When you exhale, the opposite happens. Your parasympathetic system and your brake kicks in. It slows everything down, relaxes muscles, lowers cortisol, and signals safety. Now imagine what happens when you spend your whole day pressing the accelerator, rushing, worrying, overthinking. You're breathing faster, shallower, often without noticing. The body assumes danger is nearby. Cortisol goes up, muscles tense, digestion slows. Your brain gets stuck in go mode. But when you intentionally extend your exhale, you're pressing the brake. You're literally telling your body, it's okay now. And the body listens. In a few breaths, heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and cortisol starts to fall. It's amazing how fast it works. In one study from Stanford University, researchers found that slow, deliberate breathing, around 6 breaths per minute, reduced cortisol levels and anxiety markers in just 5 minutes. Another from Harvard showed that the same pattern improved focus and sleep quality in older adults after 2 weeks of practice. Think about that. 5 minutes, twice a day, and your body starts resetting its stress response. You don't need perfection. You don't even need silence. You just need awareness. Picture this. You're sitting in your favorite chair in the morning, sunlight coming through the curtains. Instead of scrolling your phone or turning on the news, you close your eyes and simply breathe. 4 seconds in, 2 seconds hold, 6 seconds out. Slowly, gently. The chest rises, the shoulders lift slightly, and then everything melts down as you breathe out. That single rhythm is enough to shift your body's chemistry from survival to recovery. And if you're wondering, why haven't I been told this before? Well, because modern medicine often overlooks the simplest things. We treat the symptoms, blood pressure, insomnia, anxiety. But we forget the switch that controls them all, the breath. You might be thinking, can something this easy really help me? Absolutely. In fact, simplicity is the reason it works. Your body wants to calm down. It's been waiting for you to press the brake pedal for years. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you are not only oxygenating your blood, you are reteaching your body what safety feels like. You're building what scientists call vagal tone, basically the strength of your body's relaxation response. The stronger that tone, the faster you recover from stress. So yes, this is more than just deep breathing. It's like learning to talk to your nervous system again. You stop shouting at it with panic and start whispering reassurance. Now, let's make it practical, because knowing the science is one thing, but feeling it is another. And that's where the real magic happens. Part 3, the simple breathing movement. All right, let's actually do this together. Find a comfortable place to sit. You can be on a chair, a couch, even the edge of your bed. Keep your back straight, but not stiff. Think relaxed, tall. Place one hand on your belly, and if it feels natural, one hand on your chest. We'll start with something called the 4-2-6 rhythm. Ready? Inhale through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2. Now exhale slowly through your mouth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Do it again, but this time, feel your shoulders gently rise as you breathe in. Don't force it, just a small movement. Then, as you exhale, let your shoulders fall, your face soften, and your jaw unclench. This small shoulder motion, up on inhale, down on exhale, adds a physical signal to your brain. Tension up, release down. You're not just breathing, you're training your body to let go. After 2 or 3 rounds, notice what happens. Maybe your heartbeat slows a little. Maybe your mind quiets. Some people even feel warmth in their chest or hands, that blood flow returning as your stress response fades. Now imagine doing this 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and before bed. In the morning, it sets your tone. You start calm instead of rushed. After lunch, it's a reset. Instead of that foggy stress slump, you feel clear again. And at night, it tells your body you're safe to rest. You don't need candles, music, or an app. You just need a minute or 2 of presence. You might ask, what if I forget? Well, here's a trick. Tie it to something you already do. For example, every time you boil water for tea or coffee, take 3 deep 4-2-6 breaths while you wait. Or every time you wash your hands, breathe intentionally once. Soon it becomes a habit, as natural as blinking. And if you ever doubt it's working, remember this. Scientists can measure cortisol changes after breathing sessions. In one experiment, participants practicing this rhythm for 5 minutes a day lowered cortisol by up to 20% in just 1 week. That's not a theory. That's biology. Think of your breath as medicine you can take anytime, anywhere, without side effects. You can do it while watching TV, in traffic, or even lying in bed. And if you want to amplify the effect, add a gentle touch, literally. As you exhale, lightly massage the center of your chest or place a warm hand over your heart. That tactile signal combines with the breath to calm your vagus nerve even more deeply. It's a full-body conversation of reassurance. I'm safe, I'm calm, I'm okay. Now, before we move on to how this practice improves sleep, focus, and even your metabolism, take a moment and just breathe once more. Feel how different your body feels compared to when you started reading. That small shift, that quiet ease, is proof that your body listens. You didn't need a pill, a prescription, or a complicated machine. You just needed to remember the one thing you were born doing, breathing, and to do it with awareness again. You see, when you reclaim your breath, you reclaim your peace. So if this helped you today, share it with someone who's been feeling stressed or tired lately. You never know. A few calm breaths could change their whole day. And if you'd like to learn more about how these small movements transform your body naturally, don't forget to subscribe. We've got plenty more to explore together. Part 4. What happens after? Just a few minutes, let us take a moment and talk about what's really happening inside your body after just a few minutes of slow, rhythmic breathing. Because the science is truly fascinating, and once you understand it, you'll realize just how powerful something so small can be. When you breathe in that 4-2-6 rhythm, your lungs expand slowly, sending gentle pressure to your heart. The heart responds by adjusting your pulse. It slows down just a little with each exhale. This back-and-forth rhythm between breath and heartbeat creates something researchers call coherence, a perfect harmony between your body and your nervous system. Imagine two musicians playing together. Your breath is the violin, and your heart is the piano. When they're out of sync, it sounds stressful and chaotic. That's what constant shallow breathing does to you. But when they fall into rhythm, the whole body relaxes into harmony. You feel calm, focused, and balanced again. Now, here's the beautiful part. In that coherent state, your brain starts to produce more alpha waves, the same ones that appear when you re-meditating or deeply relaxed. Your blood pressure drops, your muscles unclench, and cortisol, the chemical we've been fighting, starts to decrease naturally. One Harvard study found that just 5 minutes of guided breathing could lower cortisol levels by as much as 15% in older adults. That's faster than most medications can act. Another study from Stanford showed that after a week of daily practice, participants reported sharper focus, better digestion, and improved mood, all linked to lower cortisol and higher parasympathetic activity. But numbers aside, what really matters is how it feels. You may notice your mind getting quieter, almost like the noise inside your head turns down a notch. That endless stream of thoughts, the "I should have done this, what if that happens?" begins to fade. You might also feel warmth spreading through your body. That's not imagination. As cortisol drops, your blood vessels open up again. Circulation improves, your hands and feet warm, and even your skin tone can look healthier. And here's something most people don't expect. Your digestion improves too. Because when stress is high, your body literally stops digesting food properly. It's too busy surviving. But when you start breathing slowly, your stomach and intestines receive the signal. We're safe. You can do your job now. That's why many people who start this breathing practice report fewer bloating episodes, better bowel movements, and even reduced acid reflux. It's not magic. It's simply your body returning to balance. If you ever doubt whether it's working, try this little experiment. Sit comfortably, place a finger on your wrist or neck, and feel your pulse before you start. Notice how fast or strong it is. Then, do your 4-2-6 breathing for 2 minutes. Now, check again. You'll almost always notice your pulse feels slower, steadier, softer. That's your nervous system shifting gears from go to rest. And the more you practice, the faster it happens. It's like training a muscle. At first, you might need a minute or two to feel calm. After a few weeks, a single deep breath can be enough. Let me share something that surprises many of my patients. They expect that the benefits of breathing are mostly mental, but they're actually physical, measurable, biological, visible. When we track blood oxygen, cortisol, and heart rate variability, the difference is real. This isn't woo-woo relaxation. It's neuroscience in action. The breath is literally the bridge between your mind and your body. It's the one function that connects both worlds, and when you control it, you control both. So, if just a few minutes can make such a difference, Imagine what happens when you make it a daily habit. That's where the transformation begins. Part 5. When to do it for best results. Now let's talk about when to practice this breathing movement, because timing matters more than most people realize. The body follows natural rhythms. Cortisol isn't constant. It rises and falls throughout the day. And by knowing when those peaks happen, you can use your breath like a gentle reset button, exactly when you need it most. Cortisol naturally spikes in the morning, around 6 to 8 a.m., to help you wake up. That's normal. It's your body saying, all right, time to move. But for many people, that spike is too strong or lasts too long. That's why mornings can feel like chaos. Racing thoughts, tension, that rush of urgency before the day even begins. So the first perfect moment for this breathing movement is right after waking up. Before you grab your phone, before the news, before the coffee, just sit at the edge of your bed, close your eyes, and take 5 slow 4, 2, 6 breaths. You're basically telling your body, yes, it's time to start the day, but I'm doing it calmly. This short ritual changes your entire tone for the day. It's like tuning an instrument before the concert starts. Everything that follows, your focus, your digestion, your energy, aligns around that calm foundation. The second best time is right after lunch. Most people don't realize this, but cortisol tends to rise slightly again in the early afternoon, especially if you've had caffeine, sugar, or a stressful morning. That's the time when you might feel foggy, impatient, or sleepy, but restless at the same time. Take a few minutes then, maybe go to the restroom, sit in your car, or even at your desk, and do another round of slow breathing. It clears the fog almost instantly. Some people say it feels like restarting their brain. And the third and most powerful time is before bed. Remember how cortisol and sleep are enemies? When cortisol stays high, your body refuses to enter deep rest. That's why you can be exhausted and still lie awake. So before bed, make it a ritual. Dim the lights, sit comfortably, and do 5 minutes of this breathing. It lowers cortisol, lowers heart rate, and triggers melatonin release, your natural sleep hormone. Many of my patients who struggled with insomnia have said that this alone changed their nights completely. Now, if you want to go one step further, sync your breathing with moments of natural stress release during the day. For example, after finishing a call that stressed you out, take a few deep breaths before moving on. Or after reading an email that raised your blood pressure, breathe before replying. These micro-pauses prevent cortisol spikes before they take hold. Think of them like stress vaccines, small, quick doses of calm that keep the system balanced. And don't worry about being perfect. You don't need to count seconds every time. Even if you simply breathe slower and longer than usual, you'll get most of the benefits. The key is consistency, not precision. Over time, your body begins to expect it, like muscle memory. You'll find yourself automatically breathing deeper during stress without even thinking about it. That's when you know your nervous system has learned the new rhythm. Part 6. How to make it even more powerful. All right, now you might be wondering, can we make this breathing practice even more powerful? Absolutely. There are a few gentle additions that can multiply the benefits without adding complexity. Let's start with something incredibly simple: touch. When you combine slow breathing with physical touch, like gently placing your hand over your heart or on your belly, you create what's called a somatic anchor. It gives your brain extra reassurance. You're saying through sensation, I'm safe right here. If you add a slight circular motion, like softly massaging the chest as you exhale, it can stimulate the vagus nerve even more. That's the long nerve that runs from your brain down to your heart and stomach, controlling relaxation. Activating it helps lower cortisol, slow digestion naturally, and even regulate blood sugar. Another enhancement is visualization. As you breathe in, imagine drawing in light, warmth, or peace. As you exhale, imagine releasing tension or heaviness. The brain responds to imagery almost as strongly as it does to reality. So when you pair physical breath with mental pictures, the calming effect deepens. For example, picture ocean waves. Inhale as the wave rises, exhale as it gently falls. Or imagine a tree swaying in the wind, breathing in stability, exhaling release. It might sound poetic, but it's deeply physiological. These images help guide your breath naturally into rhythm. You can also try doing this breathing while walking slowly. That's right. It doesn't have to be a seated meditation. Try matching your steps to your breath. 4 steps to inhale, hold for 2, 6 to exhale. Walking this way not only calms your mind but also synchronizes movement with oxygen flow, improving circulation and balance. And if you want to push the results even further, combine your breathing practice with exposure to natural light. Do it outdoors in the morning or by a window. Light helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which means your cortisol naturally rises and falls at the right times. That combination, light, breath, calm, is one of the simplest anti-aging formulas I know. You may also find that adding a sound to your exhale, a gentle hum, sigh, or even whisper, can increase relaxation. This vibration physically stimulates the vagus nerve through your throat and vocal cords. That's why chanting or humming feels so soothing. It's biology, not mysticism. There's one more trick, and it's one of my favorites: gratitude breathing. While you breathe, think of something small you appreciate, maybe your morning coffee, a loved one's smile, or the quiet of your room. Pair that thought with each exhale. Gratitude lowers cortisol as well, and when you link it to breath, the effect multiplies. Now, some people like to use technology, smartwatches or breathing apps, to track progress. That's fine if it motivates you, but it's not required. Your body is the best feedback system you have. When you finish a session and feel lighter, calmer, or more grounded, that's your data. And remember, this isn't a performance. There's no perfect breath. Some days it'll feel easy, other days your mind will wander. That's okay. Each breath is a small act of self-care, not a test. Here is something I often tell my older patients. Think of this practice as maintenance for your nervous system. Just like you stretch your legs or brush your teeth, you're giving your stress response a daily tune-up. You keep the machine running smoothly. After a few weeks, you'll likely notice more than calm. You'll start feeling clearer, sleeping deeper, even digesting better. People around you may notice, too. Your energy will seem more grounded, your patience longer, your laughter easier, because when cortisol drops, joy naturally returns. And if you ever skip a day, don't guilt yourself. Stressing about not de-stressing defeats the purpose. Just start again with one breath. You know, after so many years of working with people, young and old, healthy and struggling, I've learned that real healing rarely comes from the complicated things. It almost always begins with something small. A moment of silence, a few slow breaths, the decision to stop fighting your body and to start listening to it again. Breathing is the most basic thing you do, yet most of us forgot how to do it right. We treat it like background noise, something automatic. But the truth is, the way you breathe shapes every system in your body: your heart, your digestion, your immune response, your hormones, even the way you think. Every inhale is a message. Every exhale is an answer. And the way you shape those messages determines whether your body lives in fear or peace. I've seen people in my clinic who came in convinced they were broken. They had chronic stress, fatigue, high blood pressure, you name it. They'd tried supplements, diets, even antidepressants. But when we sat together and I taught them this exact breathing movement, something shifted. Not instantly, but gently, week after week. Their eyes started to look softer. Their sleep improved. They smiled more. It wasn't that life became easier, it's that they learned to stop fighting their own nervous system. That's what this is really about. It's not just breathing. It's learning to live in partnership with your body again. You see, your nervous system has only two modes: survival or safety. Most people live stuck in survival without realizing it, always on alert, always ready for the next problem. But your body cannot heal, digest, or rest in that state. Healing only happens in safety. That's why this breathing movement matters so much. It's a doorway back to that safe space, a space your body already knows how to enter. It's been waiting for your permission. Let's imagine something together. It's evening. You're sitting quietly in your home. The noise of the day is fading. You close your eyes and take one slow breath. Inhale, hold, exhale. For a moment, nothing else exists. The world doesn't disappear, but it feels lighter, quieter, softer. That feeling, that small pause, that's your body whispering, "Thank you." You've just given it something priceless: oxygen and permission to relax. Now imagine doing that every day, just 2 or 3 minutes. No equipment, no schedule, no performance, just you, your breath, and awareness. Over time, your body begins to trust you again. It learns that when tension builds, you'll release it. When fear rises, you'll calm it. When the heart races, you'll slow it down. That's how peace becomes a reflex. And something else starts to happen too. Your thoughts begin to change. You start reacting differently. You find yourself less irritated by small things. You pause before replying harshly. You notice joy in places you used to overlook. That's not personality change. That's cortisol leaving your system. It's your chemistry shifting from threat to connection. I sometimes tell my patients, breathing is your anchor in the storm. You can't always control the weather, but you can keep your ship steady. Think of how many years your body has carried you through loss, through stress, through sleepless nights, through hard days. It never gave up on you. Every cell, every heartbeat kept trying to protect you. This breathing practice is your way of saying, "I remember. I'm listening now. And yes, I know what you might be thinking. Can something this simple really change my life?" Let me ask you a question back. What if it could? What if the thing you've been searching for, more calm, better sleep, a clearer mind, has been under your nose all along, quite literally? It's easy to underestimate small things because they don't come in bottles or boxes, but nature's best medicine rarely does. Think about sunlight, movement, water, and breath. They've been healing us since the beginning of time. We just forgot to give them attention. There is another reason this matters deeply, especially as we age. The older we get, the more our nervous system tends to stay on. Life's experiences, grief, habits, they condition our brain to be cautious, tense, prepared. But the human body is meant to live in waves: tension and release, alertness and rest. When you breathe like this, you restore that rhythm. It's like teaching an old clock to tick again, in perfect time. Your heart learns to synchronize with your breath. Your blood flows easier. Your mind quiets. And something beautiful happens. Your body begins to repair itself. Cells regenerate better. Digestion smooths out. Blood sugar stabilizes. These aren't miracles. They're the consequences of living in calm. I've had patients tell me, "Doctor, I feel younger." And I always smile and say, "No, you don't feel younger. You feel balanced." Because that's what youth really is, balance. When stress hormones drop, everything else works better. Now, I want to leave you with something practical. When you finish this video, don't just say, "That sounds nice." Try it right now, even one breath. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Do it slowly, gently. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel the air move through you. Listen to the silence that follows. That's the sound of your body resetting. The best part? You can do this anywhere, at home, in your car, lying in bed, sitting in a waiting room. Nobody even has to know. You don't need a perfect posture or perfect focus. You just need to show up for yourself, one breath at a time. And when you do, something subtle but profound begins to shift. You start trusting your own body again. You realize that calm isn't a luxury. It's your natural state. It's where healing begins. So, the next time life feels too heavy, remember this. Peace is already inside you. It's not in the future, not in a supplement, not in the next vacation. It's right there, waiting behind your next exhale. Try it tomorrow morning. Try it tonight before bed. Try it when you feel like yelling, or when tears come, or when you can't fall asleep. Just breathe. You'll notice it always helps. Maybe not all at once, but gently, faithfully, like a friend who never leaves. And as you make this a habit, your body will start thanking you in small ways. You'll wake up more rested. Your digestion will ease. Your thoughts will feel clearer. The things that used to bother you might still happen, but they won't control you anymore. You'll meet them with grace. That's the real magic. Because this breathing movement isn't just about lowering cortisol. It's about remembering who's in charge. You. Your breath is your power. It's your medicine. It's your peace. If this message resonates with you, if you felt even a little calmer while listening, share it with someone who might need it. You never know whose life you might touch with something as simple as a breath. And if you'd like to keep exploring natural ways to restore your energy, improve your balance, and age with strength and clarity, stay with us. Subscribe, keep learning, and keep breathing. Because this journey doesn't end here. It begins with one simple inhale and a promise to exhale everything that no longer serves you. Take a deep breath now. Slowly in, gently out. There you go. That's how healing begins.